Okay, so picture this. It's August 2024.
Right. The flashbulbs are going off, the red carpets are rolled out.
And the movie It Ends With Us is just... It's exploding. It's
Yeah.
on its way to making nearly $350 million.
On the surface, it's like the ultimate Hollywood success story.
Exactly. But if you look just a little closer, past all the smiles and the floral dresses, there's a war being fought, a digital one.
And it was vicious. I mean, while Blake Lively's on the press tour talking about her new hair care line, the internet just turns on her.
It wasn't just criticism, though, was it? It felt like a total pile-on. Old interviews get dug up. TikTok is just flooded with these Mean Girl compilations.
And it felt real. It felt like the culture just, woke up one day and decided to hate her.
But that wasn't it. That's the twist. We flash forward to today, January 2026, and the court documents are unsealed.
And they show it wasn't bad luck. It wasn't a PR misstep.
No, it was a calculated social manipulation campaign. And we know this because we have a text message from a crisis PR firm. And it says, clear as day, we can bury anyone.
That's the smoking gun. Welcome to StarScope Report.
Today, we're not just gossiping. We are getting into the actual machinery behind a Hollywood takedown.
We're talking bots, PR strategy, and the studio executives who were smiling right next to Blake Lively while privately saying her career was cooked.
They use bots to destroy her career. Let's get into it.
Yeah, let's unpack this file because the amount of information we have now is just, it's kind of staggering.
It really is. And I think we have to start with that headline idea, the smear machine. Because if you go back to that summer, even I felt like Blake was being a little tone deaf.
Oh, for sure. Promoting a hair care line and an alcohol brand alongside a movie about domestic violence, it felt off.
It felt opportunistic. And look, in a normal world, that gets you a week of bad press, a few angry articles, and then everyone moves on.
Right. That's the normal cycle for a PR gaffe. But what these unsealed documents show is that this little spark was basically doused in jet fuel.
And this is where it stops being an accident and starts looking like an operation. Blake Lively's legal team is now alleging that her co-star, Justin Baldoni, hired Tag PR, the agency group.
And that name should ring a bell for anyone who follows this stuff.
A very loud one.
It's linked to Scooter Braun. But even more specifically, the documents point to this one PR agent, Melissa Nathan.
And she's the same crisis manager Johnny Depp used during the Amber Heard trial.
Exactly. And when you look at the strategy they laid out, it's like they use the exact same playbook. It's almost identical.
It's just wild. And the proof isn't just an accusation. It's that text message from Melissa Nathan to another publicist. She literally wrote, "You know we can bury anyone."
That phrase alone is so chilling. It's not about spinning a story. It's about manufacturing a reality. And the documents show how they did it. This was a social manipulation campaign.
Right, let's get into what that actually means, because bots is a word that gets thrown around a lot. But the filings detail specific, quote, bot-like amplification tactics. They weren't just, leaving mean comments. They were allegedly using tools to analyze her public image, find the weak spots, and then just hammer them over and over.
Until the algorithm thinks it's a real trend. It's about tricking the system. The documents show they plan to plant these specific stories, like the idea that she was weaponizing feminism.
Which is such a specific and potent charge to level against a woman.
And their internal notes even compare the strategy to Taylor Swift. They wanted to paint Blake as this privileged bully who hides behind feminism. They knew that would trigger a very specific and very loud part of the internet.
And they watched it all happen in real time. The legal filings have graphs, actual charts showing these huge spikes in negative searches and comments linking her to Baldoni.
The spikes are vertical. Organic trends don't look like that. They curve. This was like a coordinated attack.
So they basically created a hate campaign from scratch and then just watched it spread like fire.
And there's this one detail that I can't shake. Remember when everyone noticed the cast had unfollowed Baldoni?
Vividly. Yeah, that felt like a huge moment.
That was the moment the narrative changed from Baldoni's being isolated to Baldoni is the victim of a mean girl clique.
And you're saying that flip was engineered?
They use that data point to spin the victim story, and then you have the Kjersti Flaw interview, the one from 2016.
Oh God, the little bump comment. You couldn't open your phone without seeing that clip of her being rude to a reporter 8 years ago.
The lawsuit alleges that wasn't a coincidence, that it was intentionally amplified to, assassinate her character.
And the worst part, the PR agents are texting each other, basically patting themselves on the back.
There's one text that says, "It's actually sad because it just shows you how people really want to hate on women."
That's disgusting. They saw misogyny as a tool, a market to be exploited. Let's give the people the hate they want and we'll take a fee.
It's the monetization of hate. And for a while, it absolutely worked.
But if you think an external attack from a PR firm is bad, what was happening inside the studio? That's where this gets really twisted.
The call is coming from inside the house.
Yeah, because we have to open what we're calling the Sony vault, unsealed emails where studio heads are calling their biggest star a terrorist and saying her career is cooked. You just won't believe who said it.
It's just, it's a shocking level of betrayal.
Because while Blake is dealing with this, this digital firestorm, she thinks Sony Pictures has her back.
The studio making hundreds of millions of dollars off of her work, she thinks they're on her side in her fights with Baldoni.
And she was so wrong. The depositions from the execs show, just pure contempt. Let's start with Andrea Giannetti. She's the Sony VP of production.
Her deposition is a bombshell. She admitted, under oath, that she called Blake Lively a phishing terrorist to one of the producers.
A terrorist.
Let that word sink in. That's not a word you use for a diva.
So, to be fair, there is some context. Blake had given them a 17-point list of demands, script changes, safety stuff, and she threatened to walk if they weren't met.
Right, so Giannetti felt like they were being held hostage. Sony was already, what, $28 million in?
Yeah, so if Blake walks, the whole thing falls apart. The tension was obviously high. But the emails that came later.
Oh, this is the worst part. These emails are from August 2024. The movie is already out. It's a massive hit.
And Sanford Panish, who is the president of the whole Sony Motion Picture Group, is just trashing her in emails.
He wrote, the hair sell at the same time was epic level stupid. She wouldn't listen. She knows better.
Epic level stupid. He's talking about the star who just delivered him a #1 movie.
And it gets worse. He basically predicts her downfall. He writes, she is done for. At least for a while, it's cooked.
He even compares her to Anne Hathaway during that whole half-a-hate thing and speculates she'll never work again.
And Tom Rothman, the CEO of Sony, the top guy, he agrees. He calls the whole thing a ficking disaster and says the mess is the story now.
The hypocrisy is it's breathtaking. Because on the very same day as they're writing these emails, Giannetti is texting Blake.
With heart emojis.
Yeah, she's texting her things like, your blood, sweat, tears, brilliant smarts. Thank you 50 million times.
So to her face, it's, you're a genius, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And behind her back, it's, she's a terrorist and her career is over.
It's the ultimate Hollywood two-face. It's just, I can't imagine how isolating that must feel. Fighting a war on the outside with bots and on the inside with your own studio.
It's a lot. And honestly, if you find these kinds of Hollywood stories fascinating and you want the real story behind the headlines, you should probably hit that subscribe button. We go through the court docs so you don't have to.
But Blake did have one very powerful ally in her corner.
A very powerful one.
And when Baldoni tried to drag her into this whole legal mess, things got, they got musical. The Taylor Swift texts are next.
He made a huge mistake. You don't bring a tiny violin to a knife fight.
And you really, really don't try to subpoena Taylor Swift.
I mean, the arrogance of it is almost funny. Baldoni's team tried to subpoena Taylor as a witness in his lawsuit against Blake.
What was even his argument for that?
He was claiming that Blake used Taylor's fame to bully him on set. Like, she was name-dropping Taylor to get her way on creative decisions.
Seriously?
Oh, yeah. His team even alleged that Blake sent a text calling herself Khaleesi and said that Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift were her dragons.
Okay, the Game of Thrones reference is a little much, but trying to depose Taylor Swift over that, it feels like an act of desperation.
It was a massive overreach. The judge shut it down immediately. Swift's team put out a statement calling it tabloid clickbait.
Good for them.
But the real story is in the unsealed texts between Blake and Taylor.
Right, because this confirms so much.
Before the New York Times piece about the smear campaign even came out, Taylor sent a text to Blake, and it is an all-timer.
She texted, I think this Blitch knows something is coming because he's gotten out his tiny violin.
Gotten out his tiny violin.
And for anyone who listens to Taylor's music, that phrase should sound very familiar.
Very. It's a direct line to her song Canceled from The Life of a Showgirl. The lyric is, or bring a tiny violin to a knife fight.
The timeline fits perfectly. It suggests the song is literally about Justin Baldoni.
So in his attempt to drag Taylor into court, he just ended up getting immortalized as a joke in one of her songs. It's a spectacular self-own.
It's an all-time L. It really is. So let's fast forward. It's January 2026. The documents are public. Where do things stand now?
Well, Baldoni's legal strategy has completely collapsed. His defamation suit against Blake in the New York Times, that was dismissed way back in June of 2025.
So that's over. But what about Blake's lawsuit against him, the sexual harassment one?
That is very much moving forward. It's set for trial in May. And the amount of money she's suing for it's mind-blowing.
Over $161 million.
And that's not a random number. Her lawyers have broken it down.
Okay, let's hear it.
So she's claiming $56 million in lost acting earnings, which, given those Sony emails about her being cooked, seems pretty provable.
Right.
But the bigger number, the really interesting one, is $71 million in lost profits for her brands, for Betty Boo's and Blake Brown.
Wow. So she's making a direct link between the bot campaign and her company's feeling.
Exactly. Her legal team has to prove that the fake negative sentiment that Tag PR manufactured directly led to people not buying her products. If they can connect those dots. Baldoni is in for a world of financial pain.
And his career, I mean, it's not exactly thriving, is it?
It completely backfired on him. His attempt to ruin her reputation might end up costing him close to $200 million. He got dropped by his agency, WME, and that whole reputation he built as like a male feminist ally.
That's shattered. I saw the text from his co-stars. Jenny Slate called him a fraud.
A fraud and a false ally. Even a clown. When the women who worked with you are saying that and the documents show you hired bots to attack your female co-star,
right,
there's not much of a comeback from that.
It's just a tragic story all around. A movie that was supposed to be about breaking a cycle of abuse just created this real-life toxic mess of bots and betrayal.
It's wild. We went from a simple floral press tour to sexual harassment claims, studio executives calling stars terrorists, and a full-blown, high-tech digital smear campaign.
And it leaves you with this really unsettling thought, doesn't it? In a world where online hate can just be bought and sold by a PR firm, and where bots can shape a story before the truth even has a chance, can we ever really trust a cancellation again?
That's the million-dollar question. Was Blake Lively actually tone deaf, or was she just the first major target of a digital hit job that all of us fell for? And if they can do that to her with all of her money and power, what chance does anyone else have?
That's a thought to keep you up at night. You've been listening to StarScope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.